Welcome to another episode of Middle Ground with L.L.C, where we treat you like family. That is the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, The JLE Experience. I own the music and copyrights, don't mute nothing Facebook. Got another great guest for you today. I got a fellow Wayne State University alum, senior pastor at New Beginnings Bible Church, co-director at Wayne State University Karmanos Cancer Institute, Faith-Based Genetic Research Institute, and Wayne State University Community Engagement Coordinator for Center for Urban Responses to Environmental Stressors, known as CURES, Rochelle Chapman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you for doing it.
That Cures was a mouthful, wasn't it? All of that was a mouthful. I love it.
And we're all about giving your flowers because you put that work in. You earned it.
Thank you.
First question, what led you to this path?
Wow. It depends on which area, if we're talking about, I'll start with the community engagement. Being a pastor, that's a part of it, anyway, being able to engage with the community. But I guess at the root of it is just my love for people and for seeing people better and do better and know better and be better. So that's what led me there. I've been working for Wayne State for almost 21 years now in different positions and capacities. So right before getting into community engagement, that's where you and I met in special events.
Yeah.
It was managing events and doing that, and praying each other through class and all that good stuff. Through work, through class, just that support system being there, man. You don't know how much I appreciated those days. So let me publicly say thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, it was days
such a positive attitude. Yeah, you come in with the laughs,
And we say like one day we're gonna be out of these spots. So look at us now.
Yeah, man. Look at it. Listen, you can't see my feet, but I'm doing a little happy dance right now. So
I feel you on that. You came up, baby.
Yeah, we came up, graduated together and everything. God is good. And so, being, moving from that position 3 weeks right before the shutdown of the pandemic into community engagement, I thought, going into the research department, I don't know. I know some things, but I don't know a whole lot about this particular department, like environmental stressors. Like what is that? And I just really wanted to help the community. So having that position and learning more about environmental stressors, like lead, water, asthma, allergies, air pollution, toxicants, just the whole gambit of things. But being able to translate that research that our scientists and epidemiologists and folks, doctors and stuff, our lab people are studying and researching to be able to translate that to everyday people. In the Bible, it says our people perish or are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and so many things that we can have healthier lifestyles, healthier ways of living, our day-to-day life, just a lot of information we did not know, about your indoor air quality, just small tips, cracking your window for 10 minutes a day, letting the fresh air, come in terms of, most of our indoor air quality is 10 times worse than the outdoor air quality. So just, letting that air in, when people come to your house and they take off their shoes, not thinking people are bougie because you like taking shoes off. You're thinking about what is all this stuff that you've been stepping on, have you been outside and that's tracking, chemicals and all that kind of stuff all through the house, those type of things. For our brothers and sisters in Southwest Detroit, it's different. The air quality is worse outside than it is inside, so being able to, because of all those plants and all of the pollution and things like that. So, being able to help people, with, even stuff like an asthma action plan. One of my mother's closest friends had asthma. She passed away. But, some people, if you have a asthma action plan, where's your nebulizer? Where are your inhalers? If you're in trouble, do the people that's close to you and are connected to you know how to get you the help that you need? So I landed in this place. And this show is all about purpose. Not even knowing that this all was a part of my purpose. I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to encourage people and get people the information that they needed, but I did not know the breadth of everything that was happening in the environmental health world. And that then led me to the Faith Community Research Network through Karmanos Cancer Institute with Dr. Haley Thompson and attorney Bertram Marks as directors there, and doing research about cancer and HPV vaccination and just all kind of public health topics and issues, and bringing that information to churches. We have 12 partner churches that we partner with to teach, help develop health ministries. So to help teach this information that we're learning, to be able to disseminate it. All these grants and these monies are about being able to get, not to just research it, but to get the information into the hands of the people that can really use it the most. And so that's what we're all about. So hopefully I answered your question. It seemed like it was a big old.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this show about you, baby. You answered it. This about you. I see your people out here riding for you.
I see. Hey,
she on here again. She definitely put in work. Yeah, that's true. We got Talisha Belt showing the love.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay them and taking them to dinner. My husband.
Okay. Hubby showing love.
Yes.
Raquel Harrison.
Twin sister. Yes. Hey, everybody.
And husband again. Education is key. People showing out for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, now, having that support system is everything.
Got to. Now, what is the duties of a co-director?
So, I didn't even start off that way. I came in just as my community engagement, role, and my main role in that role is to translate science to the community. That role led to the community, to the co-director of the Faith Community Research Network, and it's three of us. So we all have, three distinctive roles. My primary role is to work with the churches and the partners on the missions and the aims of the Faith Community Research Network. We just finished 6 town halls in November. Yeah, between October and November, 6 town halls on genomic and genetic research. That was amazing, bringing that information to the community. And I think a lot of times when you hear certain words, because I heard those, I'm like, genetics, genomics, like, what is that? So happen to first be educated myself so that I could be able to pass on that information, but to understand stuff like precision medicine and how, you and I, even though, we both are, African-American, like precision medicine is that specific personalized medicine for you. Our body types are different, right? Our makeups are different, our genetics and our genes are different. So educating people to be a voice, to be able to advocate for themselves. And so that's a big part of the co-director of the Faith Community Research Network, is giving them that information, but being able to advocate for themselves. And we took it to the church because we understand that, there's still power in faith. There's still power in the church and getting the right information, not just right now, but even back, to 50, 60 years ago, slavery, or even before, the messages got out through the church. Here's your escape route. This is how you get, through the church. And it's a trusted source, especially during the pandemic. There were so many, different things, TikTok conspiracy theories about COVID-19, are people putting the chip in, are they tracking, all these different type of things. So we really dealt with the misinformation. And that's one of the other things, is to bring the truth out, right? To deal with the people's medical mistrust, because let's be honest, we know about the Tuskegee experiment with the, we know about
some people don't.
Right? So people have a right.
We had to let a fellow white brother and sister like, no, that's real. That's not legend. They did that.
Yeah, they actually did that. Yeah. And, with Henrietta Lacks using her cells and things like that, and
yeah, that was crazy.
I didn't know much about her too. Did you knew about her too?
I learned about it years ago from a movie. Like, really? Are they paying that family? Like,
yeah. And now her family is on the board. They are a part of the approval. Anytime they want to use one of her cells, they now have to get approval to be able to do it. And so these things that are in place, but also helping to build trust. Community engagement and even this co-director role is about relationships and about being able to build trust and deal with the fact that, there was a lot of mistakes made, intentionally made to hear. And I think that's one of the main problems that we have, Jeff, is that we always want to, especially scientists and researchers, they want to come and collect the data and things like that. But you also have to listen and understand what's going on. And so that's why I feel like I have a unique role with caring for the people, but then also being able to get them the information that they need.
Okay, that's dope. If we had Cassandra say, put it back up there, integrated health is so important. Yasmin Hampton, good evening, Pastor. Keep showing out. My homegirl from high school, Kia, I told you about.
Hi, Kia. Yes.
When we learn about Advocate for Us, Tanisha Flowers. There's power in faith. The church is a trusted source. Which is true. Now, I don't know, you may have covered the cures because the engagement for that does what?
Yeah, so again, taking the research to the community and translating that in a way that they can understand it, so it helps them have a better quality of life in terms of the environment, and we do a lot of advocacy as well. So we have an advocacy lawyer on our team. We just recently worked with the Hope Village community. They had a plant that was moving in there, and they wanted some information because, people don't know certain things. 10,000 trucks go through Detroit a day.
Whoa.
Think about all those diesel fumes. We are 6 times the national rate of asthma, which is environmentally induced. That type of thing. And some people don't know these statistics, and so being able to say, listen, we can't always go in and advocate for you, but we can give you the information for you to advocate for yourself. And so they were able to come to the table with this plant and be able to say, hey, we don't want trucks coming through here, to be able to negotiate and advocate so that their neighborhood is healthy.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's part of...
I think it's a lag on my end. I'm sorry, Jeff. We also host spinoff events. So we do about 25 to 30 events, small group events each year, going in talking about these environmental health issues. And typically that's me coming out, and we incentivize with like a gift card, or we have lunch, and then we have dialogue.
And how long has Cures been around?
About 6 or 7 years. Yeah, because when I came, it was 5 years. So I say 7 years now. Yeah. And it's nationally funded through the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences.
Oh, now you're a senior pastor at New Beginnings Bible Church. How did that whole journey happen?
Oh, man. Honestly, first running for my dear life. Like, what in the world? Who would sign up for that? Yeah. You didn't expect that. You didn't expect that, Jeff?
Hey, I understand. My dad was a pastor. Like, hey,
see, well, you know all too well.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I ran from it versus run to it initially. I've always, my mom raised us up, my sisters and I have 2 sisters. And we got to the place, the age of 16, where she was like, you know what, if you want to go, you can. It's up to you. I did what I was supposed to do. But there was always just this, I heard God. I could hear the voice of God. There was always this knowing, this desire, this hunger. So I began to continue to go on and learn and teach and things like that. And then when it was time to pastor, I had moved on up from my childhood church to another church. I was preaching at the time. And we were looking for a bigger church. So I was like, man, I would ride past churches like Puritan during this time. It seemed like from in a mile or 2 mile radius, by the time you got to the Lodge Freeway, I was like, man, it's like 6 vacancies. Like, I'm writing down the numbers or whatever, and I'm giving it to my pastor. And he's like, this is not for me. Like, like that's for you. And I had 2 occasions. It's interesting you're saying that, because we're celebrating 13 years of our church being in existence tomorrow. And I had
Okay.
two different people come to me and was like, "Hey, you're my pastor." One person I never met in my life. Another one was a friend of my older sister,
Mm-hmm.
Talisha. And like, yeah, right. I'm gonna stay at my church forever, and I will like that's not about to happen. And so I went through one candidacy where they end up choosing their associate pastor.
Okay.
Uh, went to another one to turn in my resume. Now, both cases they asked me for this information. So I went to another church to give it to the deacon, and he said, "I'm just gonna let you know to your face, this I'm throwing this in the garbage." I was like,
Oh.
he said, "I don't believe in women pastors," and
What?
yeah, so I've experienced that in terms of preaching, and just my pastor was very good with trying to prepare us for
I ain't in the
just that misogynistic atmosphere. But
Yeah,
can you imagine? That's you
man, that
shocked
ain't
over
the
there, Jeff?
Yeah. I know Bishop Butler has spoken on that before. It shows scripture like, okay, show me where it's a man or woman. And I'm like, it's really like that. But hearing you knowing someone that is like, wow, it's really, really like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was slightly offended, but actually, it was like, well, good. I get to stay at my home church. Like, ain't nobody. I'm not ready to do this anyway. So, like, okay, great. And I was having dreams, and I was reading, in the scriptures and things like that, and I just, the Lord just kept, showing it to me. Like I'd be trying to look at something simple like Psalms 23, and then I'll be in Jeremiah 3:15. Like, I'll give you pastors after my own heart. I'm like, I wasn't trying to go here. How did I get here? Just different levels of confirmation. And so finally, I talked to my pastor, and he's like, yeah, the Lord already showed me, and so we planted New Beginnings, grassroots, just evangelizing for months. And some of the people are on here tonight that helped me evangelize for months and go door to door, knock on doors. And then we started our official service um, on January 3rd, 2010.
And where's the church at?
Right now, we're in the International Institute on campus. Ironically, we were on East 7 Mile, but we're on campus now, not too far from Wayne State campus, inside the International Institute, 111 East Kirby.
Okay. And that's over there in Wayne area?
Yeah, it's
Same
right
people.
over by the DIA.
Oh, over there. Okay.
Yep, yep, not too far from like behind like Wasabi and all those little places right there.
Oh, they got wasabi. I ain't been down campus since I graduated. Wasabi over there
Oh,
now.
that's how you do
I didn't know
once you
that.
graduate and you just bust up.
No, I did go. I went ready to graduate. I went for that.
Right.
I went to when we lost to Michigan. I recently drove through it, hanging out downtown with my cousin, but I be working in Dearborn. It's like, unless I got some reason to go down there, like, okay, working out here, go work out here, I'll be down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
have to
do plan
drag
to
you
have a
back to the
building though.
campus.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm gonna get married. They're gonna make a building with my name on it, and I'm gonna be such a diva. I want cheesecake from Georgia, and I want it in 2 minutes, just to see if people go crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
just joking. I'm just joking. I just want to see y'all lose y'all mind for a second. I know I've arrived.
Hey, I love it. Listen, put
You
the
know,
vision out there. Go ahead and cast the vision.
oh yeah, I'm cutting the check, but I'm like, hey, I want grapes from California. Hurry up. The check ain't gonna cash itself.
And they will do it. I'm so glad
Oh
I
yeah.
won't be planning. I won't be planning that one though. I'm out of that department.
Well, see, you'll probably let him know. He joking with y'all. He gonna let y'all go crazy for like a good minute. You say, I'm just playing. I just want to see y'all go crazy. That's all. It's all the fun.
Yes, sir.
That's dope. You got the church. You're doing your thing. That you don't want to. So now we at the point where it's time to market what you have going on.
Yeah. So again, like I said, our church anniversary now, I got married 3 years ago. So my husband and I are pastoring church together. We have that
Awesome.
anniversary. And yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Thank God for some
Oh
good
yeah, you got
stable
that.
help. See, look at you. Come on here, hubby.
Yeah,
Uh,
on point
yeah,
with it.
so
That 3-pointer.
right on time. He right on time with it. And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so we're pastoring together. He was pastoring in Ann Arbor. and we're celebrating our 13th anniversary. So that's this Sunday, tomorrow, at 1 o'clock
Okay.
at that location. Our regular service is at 9:30. I mean 10 o'clock now. I'm sorry, it's at 10 o'clock every Sunday.
The
We have
address
an
up
in
there.
person. Yeah, we just changed the time, Jeff. We literally just changed the time, pushed it back because we needed that empowerment hour, like Sunday school hour, that teaching hour. So we're
Gotcha.
going to be teaching in person only, starting at 9:10 in the morning. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll go, live on the streaming services
Mm-hmm.
and doing that. So
Um,
that's what we got going on in the church.
Nah, my Spidey sense a book over there. Thought about writing a book.
Yeah, I got the title, the cover, and everything.
See, all authors,
Um,
we know, man. We know
yeah,
each
thank
other.
you for tapping into your Holy Spirit, Spidey sense,
Hey,
intuition.
Spidey do his thing. Like author on this boy with you, Jeff. It's another one.
Yeah, man, it's there. Yes, thank you for that. And it definitely needs to finish. I can tell you the title already. So crazily, me being in, like I said, community engagement stuff like that, but my degree is in psychology. My
Oh,
undergrad degree is in
okay.
psychology. Yeah, and then I'm at Columbia Theological University for seminary for my master's in divinity, and
Mm-hmm.
in January I will be at the School of Medicine, going for my master's at Wayne State for public health. So I just got
Okay.
admitted, registered starting on Tuesday. Thank you, Jesus. Going into the public health room or whatever, and so going in that background. That's what's going on. You just asked me. I was just about to tell you something, but
Oh,
I
that
lost
book
my. Oh,
live
the book.
come out.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's what made me bring up the psychology. So it's called Rescuing the Rescuer. You know, is so the whole premise of it is that a lot of times when you are a giver or a helper, you often tend to neglect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And most rescuers are called, but they're called for an emergency. You know what I'm saying? Like when you call the fire department, it's an emergency. You know what I'm saying? You call the police unless you're doing a prank, all right? You know what I'm saying? Or you call by
Wow.
mistake. It's for emergency, and people tend to lean on those kind of folks and rely on them a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and what God had to reveal to me is that that is a part of my call, that is a part of my gift, but I'm no good for other people if I'm not taking care of myself. Like
True.
I don't have to be a martyr. I don't have to be always self-sacrificing, not at the expense of myself. And so this whole book was to try to help people be able to have some type of balance or harmony. That if you're a giver, if you're somebody that's a helper, you somebody that have a big heart, to do it, but to also do it with boundaries and a level of wisdom and making sure that you are taking care of yourself. And I think that, I don't know if it was just me growing up, but people just be like, don't pray for yourself at church. I'm like, now that I'm older, I'm like, you a lie? like I gotta pray for like you. I
Yeah.
need to pray for
You
myself.
pray
You
for
know what
you
I'm
and
saying?
everybody else.
And everybody else, and it's not selfish, and it's not
Hmm.
self-centered. So being able to learn how to, and I'm still learning, I haven't mastered that, but it is definitely, I'm learning how to take care of myself and to pour into myself. And we see these things and you think about it all the time. You get on the plane and they tell you all these different things. They say, just in case of emergency, you got to secure your mask before
Mm-hmm.
you try to secure
Somebody else.
somebody. Bless you, Dr. Angela. And so it's like when we so focused on trying to rescue other people, what ends up happening is like you gonna pass out before you even get a chance to try to help
Exactly.
somebody else. Like you're not going to be helpful, and so making that clear and having to understand that like you're doing more harm when you're not taking care of yourself, when you're not doing the things that you need to do. And like I saw this image before, like
Mm-hmm.
I saw a tow truck that was broke down, and another tow truck had to come pick it up. You know what I'm saying? So like think
Mm-hmm.
about that.
The
I'm
deep.
sure like we all do. We have signs that stuff is going wrong. Like Sometimes like, oh, that's just a check engine light. Like, okay, like it's just cold. You know what I'm saying? That's just my low tire. Like, we have all these signals and these flashing lights trying to tell us that something is wrong, but we keep on pushing it, whether we do it with our body, you know what I'm saying? Whether we do it with the things that we're taking on, we just keep on pushing. And seeing that image, I'm like, wow, the thing that's sent out to always help somebody else is now broke down, and now it needs help. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if maintenance, what if the maintenance that was done on that was done properly, and it never got to the place of breaking down? And so thinking about how can you preserve and maintain yourself and not feel like you have to risk who you are in order to help somebody else. So that's the whole book. And I know it needs to come out, and I needed to live a little bit more. You understand what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
needed to
you
have
gotta come back on here when you finish it.
yeah, I needed some more life experiences to understand that, like, man, like, you're worth the rescuing. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to belabor this, but I think somebody may need to hear this tonight.
Go
That
ahead.
um I was growing up, Jeff, and we had this pool I stayed not too far from campus. Stayed in these townhouses, and we had this
Mm-hmm.
pool, but we had to swimming pool 3 feet, 5 feet, and we had to take the test in order to get into deep. So as a kid, you like, man, I can't wait till I get tall enough and old enough so that I can swim into the deep. And then, so I passed the test, right? I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in deep waters with my friends. And I see one of my other friends, Calvin, and he's back in 3 feet. He's a couple years behind us or whatever. And I feel bad for him, right? So I saw other people bringing other people into deep. What they would do is go back to 3 feet, have them just put their hands on their shoulders, and just kind of tread water into the deep. The moment
Mm-hmm.
I crossed the threshold from 3 feet to 5 feet, Calvin panicked and pushed me under the water.
Oh.
So when he panics, pushes me under the water, and I am drowning. There was a guy, Jimmy, that was there who pulled Kevin off of me and got me out of the water. I'm talking about I'm on the side of the pool now. Water is coming out my nose and my mouth. I'm crying. I'm frustrated. And I was like, I'm going home. And I'm walking. I'm leaving the pool. I'm about to go home. And my mom's friend, his name was Todd. He was the lifeguard. Todd grabbed me and threw me back in the deep water. And I went and I got back, got on a little ladder. I came out my little self. I'm just hitting Todd like this, and I'm like, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "If I would have let you leave here because of the fear of what happened, you would have never swam again." I think that there's a couple lessons for us tonight. Is that when you try to rescue people, you have to understand that there were stages and things that were put in place that I neglected. Why would I want to carry somebody in deep water that didn't pass the test? I had to pass a test for safety reasons, right? I
Mm-hmm.
had to make sure I knew how to hold my breath for so long. I had to make sure I knew how to float, tread water, be able to swim. I had to do what I needed to do to pass the test to be able to go in deep. But because I wanted somebody to be with me so bad, I took them without passing the test to something that they was unauthorized in. You know what I'm saying? And I think as rescuers, a lot of times we bring people to places that they haven't passed the test for. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he hadn't went through all of that. He hadn't go through the stages. He didn't have the investment that I had. He didn't have the blood, sweat, and tears. And I just wanted to bring him somewhere with me so that he wouldn't be left by himself. You know what I'm saying? And so that lesson taught me something, because trying to bring somebody into a season of your life and a stage of your life that they haven't passed the test for will not end up killing them, but it'll kill you. Guess
Amen.
what? Calvin wasn't drowning, Jeff.
You was.
He was on top of me, but he was still above water.
I mean, God has shown me on my journey that some people might not go where I'm going with this. At the end result, I can bring them, but along the way of it, they ain't meant to be there with me. You might have to
Yeah,
go
and
solo.
yeah, and sometimes it's a lonely place, Jeff. Sometimes It's a
Man,
hurtful
you
place.
preaching tonight, girl. You preaching.
You know what I'm saying? Glory to God.
Man, you
It's,
preaching.
because you want everybody to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, think about this. Like, we
Yeah.
wanted. It's so many people didn't graduate with us. You know what I'm saying? That some people were got to the end and didn't go, to the next level or whatever. The blood, sweat, and tears we talked about, you and I, encouraging each other. Like, you got class, okay, what class? How many classes left? How many this left? You know what I'm saying? But it was because
Man,
it was
I
like-mindedness.
I remember the first week after we switched over to online after COVID, and our teacher started doing a wellness check. And when she got to me, I'm like, man, I don't care if the planet blow up. We're gonna get this degree, then it can blow up. We work too hard. Damn a coach. They like, yeah, Jeff, you right. Like that's the mindset, dog. I don't care about none of that, dog. We looking at the door. We can touch it. We come too far. We gonna get that. We gonna get it.
It's our testimony.
For sure.
It's our testimony. We had, we got balances. We got to pay this off. We got to do this. It was our testimony to be able to get it done. But it was like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we do ourselves a disservice of trying to bring somebody that does not have the same mind and the same investment to this season with us. Especially growing up, in the hood, growing up, you don't want people to think that you feel like you're better than them. You don't want people to feel like, you feel like you made it and you forgot about folks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I started thinking about some of those things. Like, man, while people was laughing at me when I walked to church in them ugly little church shoes. Sorry, mama. But walking, while they laughed at me, I saw that what God was doing in my life. And when I would drive back into the neighborhood, some of the same people was on the same block, on the same corner, in the same house, you know what I'm saying, and had not moved and have not, elevated. And we all had the same opportunity. Everybody has, 24 hours in the day. Everybody has these 7 days a week, and some people just didn't want it. And listen, it took me 20 years before I graduated. I was pastoring the church. It wasn't a priority at the time. I was trying to work, make sure different things was taken care of, but my heart was still there. And I think that, for the folks that's on here tonight is that, we have to trust God enough, to trust the plan and the purpose for our life, to know that, you have to walk, even if you have to go there alone,
Man,
and not to have any stowaways. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying not to preach on here, Jeff, because it's taking.
Hey, we do that here. We do that here because yesterday marked 32 years my father died back in January 691. And I wrote in my first book, I ain't want to write none of that stuff. 10 suicide, the gangs and dope dealers that wanted to recruit. And you look back on all them years, but God did put people in my life to give me knowledge and game to be a good dude and keep walking towards the right path, what you're trying to do, and to be here. Even now, we talking about our graduation. When I got my diploma in the mail, I was on a zillion.
Come on here.
I recorded a little video like, man, look, I got it. You can do it. Be the hardest work in the room. You get it. I put it on LinkedIn. I ain't used my LinkedIn since I had to do it for a class project in business school. And that thing got like 3,600 reactions. I'm like, wow.
Wow.
That led to my first guest, Chris Matone, being a guest on my show. Because you're a role model. You out here grinding. Like, I was just geeked and put it on there. I didn't even think it was going to do anything, which eventually led to me doing all this.
Wow. Right. See, I didn't know, man. I
was just hyped to get my degree. Listen, I didn't know this day you're going to be doing all this, help people find purpose.
Man. And, purpose, even with, doing stuff in public health now, like, that's not my journey. You know what I'm saying? I was like, church, community engagement, I'm like, where did that come from? But everything led me to where I am now. And when you said that, number one, thank you for still, for doing this and just saying, yesterday about your father, I want to acknowledge that I heard you. And man, like, I just know that he would be proud, and to see all these great things that you are accomplishing, no matter the obstacle, and that's a part of a purpose, knowing that, listen, all kind of obstacles will come. My secret sauce, if I would have any, Jeff, is perseverance. That no matter what happens, to continue to, pray and to continue to pursue purpose. And so, I had another thought too about, um, rescuing people. And you're helping me tonight. I'm just going to replay this and make sure that these go back in the chapters, of the book, because as we're talking about this, it's definitely helping.
I have a stubborn determination.
Yeah, I like that.
As I get off my butt, like, okay, that's the goal. Whatever you got to do to get it, I'm gonna get it.
Stubborn determination.
And someone tell me they trying to do something, I'm gonna help them. Hey, no matter what, we're gonna get you there.
So you better start some work.
Let me know, because that is a good idea. Stubborn determination.
Right there. Yeah, I need that on a t-shirt, a hoodie. Start your JLE merchandise. I need that going.
I'm working on it. I'm gonna add that to the repertoire. It's coming.
I ain't gonna charge you for it. It's free. You know what I'm saying? Free revelation. just like you're charged me for the book. But I had a thought that I was gonna say to this, Jeff, is that God showed me, just looking at the story of Jonah, and the whole Jonah, people say the whale or the big fish type of thing. Like, he didn't want to go to Nineveh. He didn't want to go where God told him to go. He gets some people that's nice enough to let him get on board with them on their ship. His disobedience causes a storm that's about to take everybody down. It's about to kill everybody. Jonah is asleep. He knocked out, snoozing, and you're the one that's causing the storm. Like, so finally they wake Jonah up, like, hey, we about to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they casting lots to figure out who caused this calamity, this harm, and all of this stuff. And Jonah, like, it's me. But then he tells them, throw me off the ship. Like, well, if you're the person that's causing the problem, why do you want me to commit homicide when you can commit suicide? I'm not advocating suicide, y'all, please, or homicide. Listen to my point, that when you have people that's always about themselves, instead of Jonah taking care of himself as the problem, he wanted to put that responsibility in the hands of other people. Like, them fishermen wouldn't have even had no storm if Jonah wouldn't have been on board. You understand what I'm saying? He's causing all this to happen, and he's cool. And that's what happens with us as rescuers. Like, we're the rescuers in the story is the fishermen. All they was trying to do was help somebody. And that person that they tried to help was about to take them down. I thank God. God caused the fish to swallow Jonah up, take Jonah to where he needed to go. God saved the fisherman. And that's the, I guess, the thank you, Jesus, in there, because it's like, even when you do what's right, it's always going to work out. You're never going to get the end of the short end of the stick. And so, just encouraging you, myself, and those folks that are on here, that we got to do self-care. We cannot self-sabotage. We got to put in the work to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and not allow helping other people to be the thing that causes us to sink.
That's true. I learned that with people I know dealing with stuff. To a degree, you got to let them figure it out on their own.
Absolutely.
There's lessons in that process that you learn.
Oh, my.
Food out.
You still right. Thank you. Okay, I'm done with preaching. I'm done with that.
Hey, we do everything on this show, man. It's all God got me doing it, because I ain't want to do this. Reach out to people. I don't like people like that. I'm introvert. So he got me away.
Are you an introvert too? Me too.
Even though I do music and all this outgoing stuff, like, I don't talk to people, man. Wow. You just like, get out there, boy. Like, oh okay. I'm comfortable with it now. Huh? I got comfortable doing it now.
Yeah, I learned about ambivert, that you could be introverted and then a little bit of both, introvert and extroversion. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm chill, but when it's time to preach and speak and do something else, then that's when the extrovert kick in.
Now, all the time we used to chop it up in AAB about where we trying to go. Did you ever think your path would get you here?
Man, no. Like, no, I didn't even think we would be here doing this interview, but God has a strange way of aligning your purpose where you're not even, I told you I was thinking about psychology, I was thinking about divinity, and those things are still in my heart. They're still on my radar. But this whole thing about public health, especially now with the pandemic, going into environmental health and then public health, I had no idea. But he'll give you such a peace and assurance like this is where you're supposed to be. And sometimes, calamity could cause us to be right in the midst of our purpose, or even chaos, could cause us to be in the midst of our purpose. And so we're in a pandemic, syndemic, triple demic, and it's causing me to be in a purpose that I unlock a purpose that I didn't know was there.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. I just wanted to get out of Wayne and be working, doing music or something. Books, I ain't thinking about that. I wrote a book years ago, kept losing it. So I ain't think I ever do that again, but I got a few more books I got to do. And this here was just like, wow, help people with a purpose. I don't know about purpose. I don't know my purpose. You
Is
find it
this
along the
not a
way.
big part of
Yeah, now.
it? Right.
I mean, this is season 9, episode 6, and I started this show
Wow.
back in when we were sitting down doing 20, just straight.
Season 9?
Yep. So I rebooted the show. I stopped doing it by August of 20, trying to get a job. Then I found out by my homeboy mom, Dr. Lisa, that was on here. He was an anchor. So I rebooted the show March of last year. It
Wow.
was like I looked at my degree, see where it go. And I ain't expecting a year. Wow, it's going on 2 years now. This March, been doing this show. It's crazy. That I'm 9 years,
Wow.
9 seasons in, and like I
And
said, all the
what's them
amazing.
streams again? Because the last time we talked about what the numbers was. What was them streams on
Oh,
Spotify? What was the Spotify streams?
oh man, that was what you
So
know.
that was what, November, December when you and I talked about the last numbers.
Yeah, I had just looked at it again recently. Let me see when I had took a picture of it.
This gonna help
Oh,
somebody else
over
out that's
130
supposed to be doing this too.
6,000 minutes in 3 countries, and up 279% followers. And on
Wow.
Spotify, I'm in like 30 people top 20, and no, top 10, about 20 some people top 5, and about another 20 some people. I'm their main podcast they check out.
Wow.
And I got over 5% all demographic age wise.
What?
So I'm a little nice
I'm
in these
proud of
streets.
you, man. I'm proud of you. Go ahead. Yeah.
A little nice.
Put that on out
Just
there. I'm proud of you.
I'm trying to grind this thing worldwide. We getting it there slowly.
Yeah. We already in a couple other countries, so there you go.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be everywhere. That's the plan. If people need find their purpose and help people.
That's amazing.
Now, what has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
Me.
Okay.
um, yeah, I learned that, I'm my biggest challenge, conquering me, getting over my fears, my doubts. So the more that I get myself out of the way, any type of self-sabotaging, I had a fear of failure, but also understood a fear of success too. Like, man, whoa,
That's real. That's
like this
real.
is happening. It's moving faster than what I would think. So being able to just constantly get out of my way, and that's been the biggest challenge. Is just like reminding myself to get out of my way.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the more this started growing, I'm like, okay, well, what should I do? Like, well, my older brother told me just take each episode as the first one and try to do
Mm,
your best at at it. Don't look at, okay, I want to be here. Just let God just keep taking it where it need to go.
And look where it
And I'm
is.
working on getting the website up, getting the merchandise together, looking for sponsors to get this profitable, and just keep. It's gonna get to where it's supposed to go.
Man, I have no doubt about that. No doubt.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm getting this out the mud since I started.
Right, we're gonna be coming back. You're gonna have some of your guests coming back to interview you about all the stuff you doing. Table's gonna turn, man.
Yeah, it is weird. Like, yeah, some people ask me questions like, I don't think I'm doing nothing really, but I guess I am.
Right, you see that?
Yeah, I had to step back. Like, yeah, you in season 9, boy. That's a lot of episodes. And every Friday, Saturday, you are consistent. Because before,
Yeah,
like, okay,
that.
we gotta cut it back. And I'm booked until mid-March, which is humbling. And
yeah,
whole December ended. I'm like, wow, okay. Let's keep going. I had to learn to open up the calendar for every month. I can't book. Like, you can't book. What the world? What you mean you can't book? No, okay, let's figure this out.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Yeah, man, these people are awesome. And every story I hear is so amazing that people, every blue moon, someone really, like you shared about the Johnny, I'd be like, wow, this is, yeah, I see why God doing it, because someone might need to hear that story to get them to keep going.
Yeah.
So those moments are very humbling. Now, what has been your impact on your journey, you think?
Impact. Changing lives, pointing people back to Christ. I think that if you could help somebody along the way, that's one of like old school kind of sayings, but I believe that in my heart to be able to help somebody, to be able to feed somebody, clothe somebody, just whatever that is in any kind of way. And in the process, be able to grow and learn myself and understand that, the power of support, the power of being there, the power of help. So that's, the impact. I have yet to see all of it, because God is gracious for the impact that I can see. But there's places and stages and things that God is, there's people that's going to listen to maybe my meditation CD or sermon or motivation CD that I'll never meet, that I'll never talk to, but it helped them. The transparency of our testimonies tonight, somebody might not come back and say, or some people have been on here, been gracious to say things, but somebody else will hear this that's not on here tonight, that it'll impact. And so that those things help you to know that your living isn't in vain, to be able to help somebody else, and to know that your purpose is helping others, but also to be able, my purpose is to help me be able to realize all the dreams, visions, goals that God has for me and not get in my own way. So.
Yeah, because when I did my first book, man, I ain't like, well, okay, you put all my business out here. It's gonna help somebody, I guess. And that's what path I'm on, man. Transparency. I don't like it, but you gotta be obedient. Because he started doing one of these, and I don't want them problems from God.
No, I don't want them problems.
A person that's in United Kingdom I interact with on Instagram reached out and said, reading my book gave him a reason to keep going. I was humbled, like, whoa.
Wow.
So that's why you need to put this book out here. Mm-hmm. I wasn't gonna put it out. I wrote it in July, and I was bored. I ain't putting this out here, man. I'm a business note, but I finally put it out, and that really humbled that. Okay, you gotta be about your purpose, because it ain't just about you.
I was trying to do something, put a nice comment about you in here. I end up doing it in a private thing. But what I said was that you're literally, that's literally saving lives. By being transparent and sharing your story.
Oh, hold on, no, we wax on, wax off here with the technology. I got you covered.
See, look at you, get it.
Mm-hmm. And gonna credit you. Damn, got you out here in these streets.
Thank you. See,
Appreciate
yeah, I appreciate you.
you. Last question. With all the first class treatment, I try to give every guest, make them comfortable and relax. Because I need that
You do.
game. That game of game. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
What advice do I have for someone to try to find their purpose? It's a couple ways you could approach this, right? I could approach it, spiritually. I could also, I'll give a different perspective, maybe. Um, I said a little bit earlier, sometimes life will cause you to stumble upon your purpose in a sense, which, because of an issue or it's just another way of God leading you that way. But what I would say is sometimes your purpose is found in your pet peeves. Sometimes your purpose is found in places of pain, right? If you have I know it's, and I went the totally opposite way. I know,
You
I
gotta give
get
an
it.
example of that, man. You gotta give
Yeah,
an example.
yeah. So if your pet peeve is somebody that's I'll give you an example. This lady used to the old church bulletins that
Mm-hmm.
we used to print out. She would take a red pen and she would mark up the church bulletins and slide it under the secretary door. Right.
Oh.
Now, that wasn't the best way to do it, number one, right? So I'll say that. But um she had a gift to be an editor,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know what I'm saying? Your pet peeve was that these misspelled words, these things, the punctuation wasn't correct. All you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff where it drove you that crazy for you to do something like that, right? But maybe God was trying to unlock the editor in you, and maybe that's another stream for you to be a book editor or to be, you know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say maybe sometimes the things that irritates you or that weighs heavy on your heart, that those are things that leads you to your purpose. For me, it was I didn't like people being mistreated. I always had an affinity for the underdog, or people that folks discarded or threw away, or felt like they wasn't good enough. That led me to preaching, to pastoring, to community engagement, to psychology, to public health. That led me there. And so that'll be my completely opposite way of saying look
Oh,
at
that's
your
awesome. It's funny, but awesome because that is true. Some people be very petty, like you need to be doing that every day because you took all your time to put that together.
and maybe you're the answer to the problem. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your purpose is that you're the answer to the problem that's bothering you.
That's true.
So
I have a goal that everybody I know we all at imaginary table living a life and purpose that we was created to do and living good.
I'm with you on that one. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
And people along the way, because you don't want to be out here starving or struggling. And we one of the richest countries, and yet we ain't quick to help people like we should.
Yeah, man. And that mentorship and pouring in is I'm sure got both of us here, by the grace of God, and definitely continue to do that for other people for sure.
Oh yeah, a lot of people coach me up along the way. Many
Thank
days I'm
God.
in the trash, want to knock somebody out. Like, what's wrong with you? Ain't you trying to do A, B, C, D, E? Yeah, okay. So you ain't got time to be one punch somebody in the face. Like, I guess you got a point. All right, I'm gonna calm down.
Exactly.
And it's been a great conversation because, man, I just be thinking about many days we coming there like, ooh, that piece of paper. Yep, that piece of
Listen,
paper. All right, be good and keep it moving.
and I didn't realize the impact that had to this interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about all them days, you know what I'm saying? You coming through the office, we coming through. I see you. We just ask each other, how many more classes? All right, stay focused. Get that piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the impact of it, even us having this conversation now, man, thank you. Like,
yeah. I might need your filters back then. How many classes? You got 5, I got 5. We gonna get there.
Crossing them out, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So we want to thank, get this right, fellow Wayne State University alum, senior pastor at New Beginnings Bible Church. Go check them out at 11 East Kirby.
9:10 for Sunday school Bible and breakfast. It's actually Bible and breakfast. So we'll feed you and come get that Bible. Yeah,
oh,
for free.
Feed them too. Yes. Okay.
Bible and breakfast, 9:10, and then that's in person, and then at 10 a.m. is our live service in person or online.
Okay. Co-director of Wayne State University Karmanos Cancer Institute, Faith-Based Genetic Research Institute, and Wayne State University Community Engagement Coordinator for Center for Urban Responses to Environmental Stressors, Cures, Rochelle Chapman. It's been a pleasure catching up with you, fam. Giving this life awesome. Helping. Shout out to everybody that showed up because those people showed up, boy.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the previous guests too. God bless you all. Thank you.
Oh, and your hubby, gotta show love to him. Great interview, great episode.
Yes.
He the real MVP right now.
Right, exactly. Thank you, baby.
Hope everybody had enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna put everything together, put it out here. Hey, share with people. Maybe bless somebody, help them. Play this awesome outro. Everybody have a great night.